God speaks to his people through his word and through prophetic utterance, always for the purpose of life, growth, and maturity. In the same way, fathers are divinely appointed to speak into their families, shaping identity, direction, and spiritual stability. A father's voice is not merely informative, it is formative. In 1 Corinthians 14:3, it says, "But one who prophesies speaks to men for edification, exhortation, and consolation." This verse does not merely describe a church function, it reveals God's communication pattern, which fathers are called to imitate in the home. God is a speaking father. From Genesis to Revelation, God reveals himself as one who speaks. In Hebrews 1:1-2, God, after he spoke long ago to the fathers and the prophets, in these last days has spoken to us in his Son. God does not remain silent toward his children. Silence produces confusion. Voice produces alignment. In the Greek, the word spoke means to articulate, express meaning. God speaking is intentional, relational, and purposeful. Fathers who withhold godly speech leave a vacuum that the world, culture, and darkness are eager to fill. Prophecy is God's mode of edifying speech. In 1 Corinthians 14:3, we have three words: edification, exhortation, and consolation. This threefold pattern reveals how God speaks, not just what he speaks. For the Greek word edification, the meaning means house, structure, or building. The act of building a house, strengthening what already exists. God builds his people. He does not tear them down. In Ephesians 2:19-22, you are of God's household, being built together into a dwelling of God in the Spirit. A father's words construct the internal house of a child: identity, confidence, faith, and security. Words spoken repeatedly become structural beams in the soul. Harsh, absent, or inconsistent speech creates cracks in the foundation. In Proverbs 18:21, it says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." Fathers must ask, am I building my child or merely managing behavior? In the Greek definition of the word exhortation means alongside, to call. The meaning is to call someone alongside of you, urging forward with encouragement. Exhortation is not yelling from a distance, it is walking beside and calling upward. In Hebrews 12:7, it is for discipline that you endure. God deals with you as with sons. Exhortation creates without crushing, challenges without shaming, calls children into who they are becoming in God. Fathers must speak future identity, not just present failure. You can do better because God has placed more in you. Consolation. The Greek definition means gentle encouragement, soothing speech that calms distress. God never disciplines without assurance of love. In Isaiah 41:1, it says, "Comfort, O comfort my people, says your God." And in Psalms 103:13, just as a father has compassion on his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear him. Comfort does not eliminate correction. It stabilizes the heart so correction can be received. A child who knows he is loved can endure discipline without rebellion. Fathers are stewards of God's word. In Deuteronomy 6:6-7, "These words shall be on your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your sons." The Greek word for instruction means training of the whole person, mind, morals, and character. Fathers are not entertainers or passive observers. They are spiritual stewards. In Ephesians 6:4, it says, "Fathers, bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord." The absence of godly fatherly speech produces identity confusion, emotional insecurity, and spiritual instability. Jesus perfectly reveals the Father. In John 14:9, "He who has seen me has seen the Father." Jesus spoke truth without compromise, corrected without rejection, comforted without enabling sin. And in John 6:63, he says, "The words that I have spoken to you are spirit and are life." The Greek word here for life means divine life, God quality life. Fathers are called to speak life-giving words, not fear-driven or anger-driven speech. When fathers speak word-rooted truth, spirit-led encouragement, covenant-based love, homes become places of spiritual formation, not emotional survival. In Joshua 24:15, it says, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." That declaration begins with a father's voice. In conclusion, speak as God speaks. Fathers are not perfect, but they are appointed. God does not ask fathers to speak flawlessly, but faithfully, according to his pattern. First, edification, build the house. Second, exhortation, call forward. And third, consolation, strengthen the heart. As God speaks to his children, so fathers must speak to theirs with truth in their mouth, spirit in their tone, and love as their motive.